Okay. Hi everyone. Well, I forgot many of the things that I was supposed to do as always. So, good night, good evening, good morning to all of you. I hope you're okay. So we are in the last 2 days of Virgo constellation, and today we are related to the physical aspect in this week, connected to the chakra of ankles and feet. The concept of today in the feet is the capacity to make decisions. Today in the blog, I wrote about decision. So if you're able to read the blog, then do it. But I will try to make a summary of the main concepts. See? So remember that yesterday we've been speaking, according to the knees, of the concept of being unconscious with the knowledge and the concept of being conscious by wisdom. And those two aspects related to what we have lived and what we have conceived from what we have gone through our lives. After we have spoken and we realize about if we are in our lives in the process of acknowledging or in the process of being wise of all the things that happen to us, the next step would be feet. And feet will be the concept that guides us into our elections in life. Remember that yesterday we have been talking about that knees are related to our history and how our history and the surroundings of everything that we have around are affecting us from the outside to change. So the information from the knees, according to the history, is the perception that everything that was outside is pushing us towards the change by an external force. For the feet will be exactly the opposite. So the feet one anchoring the information of our own decisions, what we choose in our lives, and what we are willing to do from the inner self towards the outside. Knees will be the information from the outside, changing the inside, and the feet will be the transformation from the inside, pushing towards outside. So now we all have the picture of this system. One of the things that we have to acknowledge in the moment when we go from the inside towards the outside is the moment in which we have to take our own decisions. To take a decision means to decide in two different things. So I have to leave behind one of them and use the other one to go ahead, to move. That's a decision. For example, when we talk about decision, is to take two things and I have to divide them to leave one behind and to take the other one to move forward. Like for example, in a path that opens in two, so I have to make a decision towards which one I want to head myself. To make a decision would be to think about what we really want for our life. If we want to change what we have been doing and we want to go into a different direction, that would be to make a decision. In order to understand what is a decision, we have to go to the etymology of the word, which is from Latin and Indo-European languages, that they come from the word that means to divide, to make an incision, to cut. So to make a decision for us is like to have one thing that is a long thing, and decision would be to cut this long thing in two parts so I can decide just one of them, getting rid of the other one. The problem that we usually have with taking a decision is that in our perception and belief of what it is to take a decision, it's like I decide to go with this, so I deny the rest. It's like denying everything. One of the things that we have to understand that is the big problem here is that there is no division in the universe. Nothing you can cut it and just forget it. You cannot just deny the other part, because whatever you have around you, whatever is happening to you, it's going to stay with you. So you cannot just erase everything and start from the very beginning, or just to cut with everything and begin from zero. That's not how it works. The rest won't appear. And the reason why I cannot just erase the other thing and just begin from the zero is because I was living that. Now I have it in myself. So it's a part of me. Now it's part of myself. So I cannot erase something that is part of myself. So the advice of the I am was not to decide things, but to elect things. To elect is like to choose. But let's use the word elect because it's more appropriate for this. To elect things comes from the word ex legere, that comes from the all languages, that means to recollect things, to recollect all the things that I can possibly have around, and from that make an election of what is best for me. From the point of view of languages, to elect or to decide, maybe they are like similar, because like a synonym, but what we have to recognize is that the essence of the word are different. The concept of decision is to have something that is complete, and I cut it in half so I could just stay with one part of this, denying the other one. To make action would be to know that all of this is together. So what I do is to decide that a part inside of this is more useful for me. So the important thing is not just the word, but the meaning of this. And the meaning of this is that we cannot separate things, that they will be together always, forever. One of the things that we have to be aware in our elections is from where are we electing? And that's the feet, the steps that we are going to make. To understand from where I make an election, I have to think if I am electing this from my needs or from my essence. So let's picture this, that one of your feet is called need and the other one is called essence. Let's go to understand what is a need and what is essence. We have to understand this. A need is a process of biology. So a cell, a being, an animal is trying to survive by grabbing the tools that the environment gives to it so it could survive. So need is the aspect that makes you look for all those things in the outside. The need is outer things of external stuff in order to ensure the survival of the inner self. So, who is this being? Is the one that was built from all the things that I took from the environment. So, what would be this being? How this being was created? By all the things that I grabbed from the outside. The genetics that I inherit, the culture, family, the friends, society, religion, everything that is around me are the things that created me. So this means that myself needed all those things on the outside to build the thing that I am right now. All those things I have around me that made what I am in this moment, all together create the thing that we call I. That in Latin we say ego. Ego means all the things that are in the outside that went together to create an individual. So remember that all the things that you had outside and you grab it to you were tools. So all those tools were useful for you to exist now. So the ego is not bad. The ego is the joint of all the tools that makes it possible for you to be here and now. So again, let's change the idea of what ego means for us. Ego is made of what? It's made of all those needs that someday I had. So this is why one of my feet is called ego. Its name is ego because it's based on needs. This is why we have to change our concept of the ego, because to make an example of this, to criticize the ego but willing to be in service for those in need is like weird. It's like saying you see a person that is poor and that is in hunger and you just say go to jail because you are in need. So basically what we have to understand is that this one that is in need shouldn't be judged and kept in the jail. Because this ego is in need. So what we have to make with it is to help it because it's in need. We don't have to judge it. Okay? So let's stop judge the ego because that's the only one tool that we have to do what we do. So we have to help the ego to do what? To find its essence. So what is essence in the other foot? Essence comes from the word in Latin essere, which you may say essentia. And essentia is the idea of being, because in Latin essence comes from the word essere, which means to be. Okay, to be. So this is the concept of essence, the attribute of to be. The ego that is in need, it needs everything from the outside in order to become something. In the other hand, essence is the ability of just to be. So it doesn't need anything from the outside to become. It is already what it is. It's complete acceptance of what it is. We usually say the concept of essence like if it is something measurable, like if it's like the air or water that you can count or measure, or like a flavor or an essence of a perfume that you may distinguish. But that's not essence. Essence is just the attribute of just to be, just being. That's it. Nothing else. No need of anything. That's it. So this is why the essence is the one that, coming from the verb to be, we are going to call it simply am. From the I am. So we will have one foot that we will call it I, because it was made up of many other concepts of needs, and the other foot that we are going to call it am, because it's the one that simply is from within. So basically, the I will grab all the outer things towards the within to construct, to build the inner world, and the am will be the opposite. From what it is, it will spread and create the outside, from within to the outside. Okay? Do we have those two images? We would say that we have two different structures that made us be what we are. One, we call it the noun, the pronoun, and the other one would be the verb. So in one foot, we will have the pronouns that will be I, you, he, she, we, you, they. And in the other one, we will have the verb, which will be I am, you are, she, he is, we are, you are, and they are. One of the things that we have to understand now from this is that usually, from our point of view in this reality, we used to separate these two, and we can call to the verb like something divine, because it simply is. It's just what it is. Okay, it's so simple because it is, that is divine. So we used to call to that superior. So that's why we call it the higher self. It's like if it is above, over us. And we usually call the ego, the one built by needs, we used to call it the lower self, the inferior self. So this division has made us believe that there is a divinity that simply is and knows, and another reality, the ego one, that tries to survive. So this, through thousands of years, made the concept and the idea that here we are trapped, and they, in the other dimension, they are free. So what we had done was to create the idea that we have to set ourselves free from the ego, so we could be free as them, as the I am in the outside. And also we have the opposite of this vision, which is we have to set ourselves free, but from them, because them, by being there free, they set ourselves a prison. They create a prison for us. So we are here trapped because of them. Punishment. These two options are mistaken. So the reason why this is mistaken is because the I and are not different things. They are not separated. I cannot decide between I and am. So what we have done is to put in the side of the am the guides, the masters, angels, God, the Savior, and in the side of the I, the humans, the sinners, the conflicted ones, all of them. So I and am, they are not separated. They are a continuous of the same thing, same body. So one of the things that we usually do is to say, I cannot control my life. They are the ones that control my life. The guides, everyone in the heavens are the ones that have a plan for me, and I am just flowing and letting it be because I cannot control my life. They do. So this is when I become irresponsible. And in the other hand, we have the ego that says, I am the one that takes the decisions. I am the one choosing everything. I am the only one, and nobody can control my destiny because I have free will. They are the two faces of the same coin. So the reason, the really answer would be no. There is nobody controlling you, and you are not controlling yourself neither. And the reason is because all that we put that up there and everything that we put down here are the same. Exactly the same. What we have to understand about this is that it's not that someone controls you or you are controlling your life. It's basically that everything that happens to you, every decision that you make, every election that you take in your life is taking back a bigger aspect of your own self that is more wide, not superior, is wide. So when you have this concept of a wide self, this self is the one constructing all the path that you have around. But then if you here you don't do anything, so there will be no results. So you have to do. So this is why both are like a team, because both are one. And this is the most important concept of we are one. When I said that I here is Matias, okay, I am Matias. And when I am talking about am the higher self, you may call, its name is Gan. But Gan, it's not his name. His name is vibration. And the vibration is like, I cannot say that every time that I'm speaking about them, so that's why I say Gan. The higher self is not someone separated from me, it's not someone different from me that sometimes I'm channeling. It's my own body, it's myself. I am a part of Gan. Let's say that if Gan is a person, I'm a kidney in its body. Okay, so I am just a kidney. There's a lot of other organs and living beings that take part of this being. I am just an expression from it, but I am also it. Gong, gong. So there are many other beings with different sounds like I did now. So you may have different other higher selves. maybe you are part of one of them, because there are thousands as sounds can be and exist in the universe. We are all a physical expression from a self, from a being that is a vibration. Remember that everything that is physical is just the energetical projection from a vibration. So that vibration is the one that we may call the higher self. And it's all the same. When I make a decision, a choice, it's not me, Matias, who makes the choice. It's a higher and bigger and wider self that is making all the decisions, the choices, and I am the one that will execute that election. So we are part of a whole. We are not dominated by anyone. We are part of an organism, a living being. So to close this idea, I want to speak about this concept of going from the ideology to biology. Keep that in mind. So basically, one of the things that we have to understand is that we humans have shaped the universe in our own image. And why is that? Because in the last 200,000 years, we have shaped the world according to our own ideas. So the universe that we see is according to what we believe. But besides humans, what is the system that has been created by the universe that has been for billions of years throughout the whole cosmos, changing everything? We call that the chemistry, the organic chemistry. That in our planet, we call that biology. If we really want to get again connected with the universe, what we have to do is to stop projecting our beliefs in the universe as humans and start to watch the real system that the universe has created, which is biology. So in biology, there is no racism. In biology, there is no social classes, there is no politicians, there is no pyramidal system. In biology, everything is organic. So biology, as the universe, doesn't have any judgment. The judgments are only moral and from the mind. So this is why we have to see nature and the whole world, the universe, to understand how it works. So this is why we are going to try to bring all our ideologies towards biology through all this time. So the task for today is to write down all the things that I have elected for myself, have decided by myself in my life, that transform my life, but that I was the one willing to do that. So this is why we have write down a list of things that I myself have decided to change from the inside to the outside, being aware of that. So I don't know if I've been breaking many beliefs, maybe not, maybe yes, who knows, but I hope they're worth it. Sorry, I am speaking, each day I'm speaking more. So the vibration for today is Su. The statement for today is I'm agreed of experiences. So the code for today is a strong sound, which is the soul pattern ts. It says, these differences are materialized one over the other from the available energy to broaden territory. That can be physical, ethereal, and symbolic. Ts is the sound of the energy sources of electric current. The more I expand, the more energy I will have, more energy I will collect in the world. After battles for survivance comes the struggle for the goods that end up being cultural and later over religions, that turn into philosophical conflicts, that culminate in struggles for power, for who has the power controls all energies. So we begin by stretching the body and caressing the body. Focus in my breathing. I leave all the weight fall down. As I breathe, I feel the oxygen coming inside through my nose towards my lungs, heart, blood, organs, and muscles. Take a deep breath and fall down within your body, searching for a cell, a mother cell, and get close to it until you see it in front of you as big as your own body. Take a breath and dive within the cell, floating in the cytoplasm, reaching the core and taking with your hands the chromosomes. Begin to unroll them until you feel the DNA chains curling between your fingers. I recognize that I am inside an egg within the body of my mother. I perceive how it sends towards me a spiral, the light of the consciousness of the I Am in the body of an spermatozoid. I feel the spermatozoid touching the limits of the cell, changing its polarity, making it shine like a sun. Take a deep breath and allow the light of the I Am, the spermatozoid, to come inside the body, through all your body, in the shape of a spiral, coming down through the crown, the third eye, throat, heart, and plexus. Feeling it spread its genital material through the sacrum, root, knees, and ankles. I start to feel the cell, how it is dividing, projecting it into another cell. From my point of view, the I, and in front of me, the am. I am. I recognize how these two cells divide in 4, and then in 8, 16, and it goes on and on until it starts to create my whole body. Take a deep breath and start to perceive how these cells are creating the heart, the brain, intestines, stomach, lungs, each one of my organs, muscles and bones. I recognize my whole body. Feet, legs, hands, arms and head. Now, I become aware that I am the result of each one of my elections as a universal being. I am the final product of each one of my choices as a self, as a being. I am the result, the integration of all the experiences that I had in the universe. And from here, I push towards life with my sound. Keep pronouncing the sound. As I keep pronouncing the sound, I begin to feel how my body starts to go outside towards the light. I feel how my body starts to go out. My head, neck, shoulders, back, chest, arms, hands, belly, waist, hip, and my legs. I feel all the light on my body. As I pronounce the last breathing and vibration, I recognize myself outside completely from the body of my mother. Take a deep breath and recognize the world around you. I am the grid of experiences. I am the grid of experiences. I am the grid of experiences. For all the path has guided towards me. All the experiences of my spirit, my soul, and the biology of my history, they end up in me. I am the grid of experiences. So now recognize that I am the conjunction of all the experiences of myself. All the choices, all the elections are in me. So is this why now I recognize that I am ready to choose to elect my new life. I am I am. I bring my hands to my heart. I recognize that being myself, the condition, the product of all the choices that my higher self has done. Now I can choose by myself to elect the path that I will take in this new life. I am the grid of experiences. Take a deep breath and begin to bring all this consciousness to each part of your body by caressing, stretching, and yawning. And softly, I come back here now, opening my eyes. Perfect. We have been born. So tomorrow, the toroid. So thank you all for being there, and drink a lot of water, and see you tomorrow. Rest a lot. Hasta mañana.